now it's time to look at Zoom. There's several ways you can start Zoom up. One way is to go into the web site of Zoom and sign in, and then there will be several options. One of these will be host a meeting, and you can start a meeting. Now I will show you how to use the application. You need to install that first. You can get that from Zoom. Here you are. You can go in and download the client and log in. So the way to do that is start an application as normal, the Zoom application. Here we are already logged in. It's just using your credentials. Then here you have several options. The most important options are new meeting, join, that's joining an already set up meeting by somebody else, and schedule, where you could create a scheduled meeting. You can also share the screen, but I won't talk about that so much. Well, at all, actually. Scheduled meeting, once you understood how to create a new meeting, it's just simply create a meeting at a specific time. In here, you can set up different settings and create a timed meeting. I won't do that either. I will just create a new meeting. Here we are. This is turning up on the other screen. And there's another pop-up here. I'll bring it in so you can see it. So this is a new meeting. I'll need to join with the computer audio so that things that are happening on the computer will also be played on Zoom. And now it's time to invite people. The way to do that is to click here, and you can invite some contacts you have. You can Zoom rooms. Yeah, I didn't know we could create Zoom rooms. We can, apparently. But what I normally do is email. I can either email people I don't know, or just take a copy of the URL here. So now it's been copied, and I will then email that copy to whoever needs to use it. I won't show you how to email because why should I? I will just do that here. I will actually email myself and set it up on my other computer. So all I did to do that, just to show you how I'm connecting, I will be joining here, and that pops up a place where you can put in the numbers. You could also just click the link that is coming, and that will start up the meeting as a Zoom meeting. Let's see if I can get myself into this meeting. I'll just bring this all the way in, and I'm joining the video as a student. Let's see. It's connecting. Oh, hello. There we are. You can see my computer is over there. What I just did there was to mute. I'm the leader here I'm the host, so I just muted Carsten Lundqvist, the student, so that we won't be able to hear what he's saying. He's just sitting over there and talking or listening to me talking. He will be able to see me in a big screen because I'm the one who's talking. When you have many people in a meeting, it's important to be able to control that, and you can actually, as the host, mute everybody, unmute them. Now, as a participant in the group, the student has the option of actually raising his hand if he wants to ask a question. I'll just go over and do that now. You see, up here, there's a raised hand. So if you're presenting something, you should follow this and then go in and unmute him. You can also lower the hand. We also, as a student, we can also use these yes No. If I have a question, we can get interaction without having to say anything. So it's actually quite nice, especially when there's more people to be able to follow with what is going on. They can even go in and say that things should go faster or indeed slower if what you're presenting is too slow or too fast, if they have understood. So quite a nice way of actually facilitating a meeting, because you can get feedback and while talking. You'll notice that I'm in San Francisco as a student. I have a preference for San Francisco. I'm a big 49ers fan. On the computers, on your meeting, you can actually go in and choose a virtual background. That's where you do it. It's not all machines that can cope with that. Actually, this computer that I'm doing this cannot, because it doesn't have the required hardware. But if you do, you can set up a nice virtual background. It can be a good way to avoid to see what's in the background. You could have pictures and things that you don't want to show your students, for instance, or mess, and then find an appropriate background to do so. It's not a perfect background. It's not like a green screen, but it's better than nothing, and it hides what you have in the background. You have the opportunity up here, or option up here, to show things as a gallery. That can be in a meeting where you have equal partners. If you are like having a focus group or a small group of students that you want to interact with on an equal basis, this is an easier way to actually look at, because each of the screens will be the same size, and you can then see and follow the what is happening in the room. I should say. Now, make sure to find a way of communicating so people don't talk on top of each other. You can unmute everybody, and then whatever talking will talk. What else is there? Well, you can chat. You could also bring up a chat here, so you can also allow people to write into you, and you can then respond to what you read. If you have a big class, like 100 people or even 30, it can be hard to actually follow if people are chatting a lot over here. That's where a tutor would be really useful. Have a tutor that is also on Zoom, follows that, and then whenever he says something, he will digest it specifically, and then he can actually send it specifically to you. See, I can actually send something just to the student here if I want to not say things to everybody. And if he says something to you only, then you will respond to that. So he would be monitoring the important things that are being asked. Remember that in a situation where there's not that much going on socially, some of the students might use this also as an opportunity to be social. So that could be also other things going on. You can create breakout rooms. So you can create various different breakout rooms with students. So if you, let's say, have 100 students and you want to assign the participants, you can create a number of rooms, 10 rooms for instance, and you can then set set them out into breakout rooms and get them to discuss specific topics. And then they can join the bigger room once they're finished to do that and report back what they've been doing. You can record the session, so you can actually give this as a recorded session. I showed that in a previous video, how that looks. Now, with many people in it, that can be useful for others to come back. Just remember that in many places it's not okay to share students' voices if they're talking, so you should get agreement on that before you do it. You can also share the screen, so you do that by pressing the screen, and there are various different options here. Obviously, if you want to share an application, you do that. I'll show that in another session, but the whiteboard here is quite useful. I'll share it, and it is now shared. Sometimes you have to look out because it can stop. Sometimes you have to click in Zoom and say you want to not unpause the share. It can sometimes pause, and that can be a little bit annoying. But yeah, most of the time it just works. So up here you can select various different tools. I'm not that good at draw, so what I often do, let's just erase that. What I often do is I use diagrams. So here, for instance, I can make diagrams. I can also just write things. And then I can show whatever I need to show. It's a really useful tool for sharing, sharing information. One thing you have to be careful of is that you actually in Zoom has the option to give control of your mouse and keyboard, so that others from far away can take control of your computer. If you see the option, then don't do it. Especially if you're working with students. It's only if you need some help with doing this. But it's not that dangerous because it's quite clear if you're doing it. However, that's kind of what I do with Zoom often. The most important aspects of it, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video.